Say hi if you're just joining. I'm going to be baking some bread for the weekend, but first I'm just prepping some vegetables and fruit to be roasted. So just some last of the tomatoes from the garden. I added in some extras as well that I bought, but all those large ones are such a gorgeous colour and such a wonderful flavour. So the last ones from the garden over summer, and then also just roasting down some plums as well. I'm going to put some spices on this. Do say hi if you're joining. Let me know if you are baking any bread for the weekend. So just putting some ground ginger on this, a little bit. Goes really well with the plums, and a bit of nutmeg. Stir it all in a minute. And some cinnamon. So really beautiful baked plums, and I'll put a bit of oh, hang on. Actually in use, that would help. There we go. Great with yogurt for breakfast. Just make a batch of them at the start or end of the week. And on the tomatoes, I put a bit of this spicy salt. So it's salt, but with various spices like paprika, garlic, cayenne pepper, onion, black pepper, white pepper, thyme, and oregano. It's a really nice blend. It goes well on so many things. Let's put that one on there. Put a bit of herbs as well in there. What's that one? The spicy salt. Oh, almost put the herbs on the plums. I do not want that. Right, these are about to go into the oven. Let's pop those there. Well, say hi if you are joining. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Let me know if you're baking any bread. I'm just baking some plums and some tomatoes, which are left over from my garden. I added a few shop bought ones, but most of this is garden tomatoes that I'm just roasting finer ones. So just in a bit of oil. Thank you. Let me know. I'm going to just make some bread in a minute, but I just wanted to get these into the oven because I've been making kind of pasta sauce or tomato sauce with them, roasting them up, a bit of herbs and spicy salt, and just roasting them for a few bits in the oven. And then also some plums. I sadly didn't grow these, although we did have quite a lot of plums as well. And yeah, it's going to be delicious. Thank you. Some plums as well. I didn't bake these ones. I'm actually just going to put a bit of sugar on them as well. So a bit of sugar as well, and baked plums. And now it's getting cooler here where I am. It's a really nice breakfast. Just warm them up slightly with some yogurt, and really nice. Right, tiny bit of sugar. It's all a bit rough and ready. Let me know if you're always weighing stuff out or if you're just doing it by eye in your kitchen. With bread making, I will weigh out the ingredients, and the sugar potentially. I think everything in moderation. It's just a tablespoon or two. So, and also there'll be natural sugars in the plums as well. So I think in moderation just cuts through any tartness. And I've already put the ginger and cinnamon and nutmeg on there as well. So most of the flavour will come from the spices. But yeah, so let me know. if you're making anything this weekend, got plans for the weekend, any baking or cooking, let me know. But I'm just trying to get ahead here and get both of these into the oven before get going with the weekend. Right, let me pop these in. Always put a timer on, otherwise I will absolutely forget about it. So let me, all right. Well, let me know how you're getting on. So I'm Rhiannon, owner of the Epsom Bakehouse. Always here baking some bread. Oh, I should have got. Let me just. Always here doing lives and enjoying it, and I just wanted to got some YouTube sent me some lovely swag. I got a few bits, but including a mug. It's not a live stream mug, I don't need a live stream mug, but also a YouTube shorts mug, so always enjoying that as well. So do let me know, so yes, so I did a lovely live stream boot camp with YouTube, and they very kindly sent me some swag in the post. So I've got a mug there as well. I'm going to have to start using that. Let me know if you drink tea or coffee. I sadly, well, not sadly, I don't really like them. So I'm going to have to get some hot chocolate or something else to drink out of that one. But yeah, they did send me a mug, so thank you, YouTube. All right, I'm going to make up some dough while we're chatting, but let me know if you've got any bread making questions. So usually I am chatting all things bread making. I run online live bread making classes and also recorded classes. So, but if you're watching this channel, do subscribe if you'd like more bread making tips. And you can check out the description to find out how you can sign up for my newsletter as well if you'd like more tips. And also in the description, we've got lots of festive classes coming up, so if you're looking ahead to the festive season and thinking maybe bake something delicious to share with friends or family, then lots of classes coming up like cinnamon buns, stollen, and other baking classes in the run-up to Christmas, so do check that out as well in the description. You can sign up to newsletter, and when you sign up as a thank you, you get 3 free bread recipes that you can try. They're quick and simple bread recipes to try at home if you'd really like to get on baking your own bread at home. But yeah, while we're on, let me know if you have any bread making questions. I'm just making a simple bread today that will be bread for the kind of weekend and rest of the week. So just a simple yeasted bread, and popping that together to be a loaf of bread for my family. But let me know if you're baking as well this weekend, or if you're making anything at home. I've just been putting some fruits in the oven as well. So just making a simple bread. I'm going to add something, a little bit of an experiment as well. Possibly this might not be revolutionary to a lot of you. I normally would put in, to enrich my dough slightly, I would put in some milk, and you can add that instead of water, but I'm going to put some milk powder in as well, just because I have some as well to use. And I'm going to put some in. I might have to add a bit more water, but I'm just going to see, because when you enrich your dough, you get a softer, sweeter dough. So I would normally use up a bit of milk, but I haven't got too much, so I'm going to use up some milk powder and see how it turns out. Could turn out not for me, but you never know. It could be horrendous. So if you've done that before, let me know. And use milk powder in your bread, or if you use milk when you make your dough, because that's one. Whoever was saying sugar was unhealthy, look away now. You don't need to put any in your bread as well. You do not need to add sugar. In fact, I think I have a YouTube video on this. If you subscribe to my main channel, you'll see it there. Do you need to add sugar to your bread? Most recipes, no. I know that I'm cooking for an audience that does like a little bit more sweetness, and usually the milk would add that hint of sweetness as well, the natural sugars in that. So that is something that you can do just add milk instead of the water when you're baking your bread. You can swap them or do half and half, milk and water, and it will make a slightly sweeter loaf. Get that nice soft crumb, slightly sweeter crumb, and it's an enriched bread. The other thing I'm going to add is a little bit of butter when I am kneading the dough, but first I'm going to get some water. How is everyone? So thanks if you're joining. I'm just making some bread for the weekend, for just to eat here at home. Nice crusty white loaf. So let me know if you are baking as well, or if you've got any bread making questions, or if you're just going to enjoy cooking or baking something delicious this weekend, let me know. Yeah, so I'm going to pop some water in. I don't know if I'm going to need to add more because I added in that milk powder. I'm going to see how it goes. Could go either way, I guess. And I am weighing the water as well, because I find the most accurate way to do it. See how this goes on. Okay. All right. And just mix that up. So a little bit of warmth in that water, nothing hotter than your hand. But just a bit of warmth. It is cooling off now where I live, going into autumn and winter. And so just keeping a little bit of warmth so that the yeast are happy. Bring this together into a dough. All right. Pretty sticky. If it was my choice, I'd probably be using a slightly different flour, but I have to go. Let me know if you've got a favourite kind of bread that you like to enjoy eating or maybe baking. I enjoy using malted flours, and I don't know if they're always available to everyone, but yes, I enjoy using like flours with a malted grain in. So it's where the grain has been allowed to start to germinate. Basically, you heat it up, you leave it somewhere slightly damp, with a bit of water, and the inside of the grain starts to convert to sugar. But before it grows into a plant, cook the grains and the sugars caramelise. I feel like we're talking a lot about sugar on this live. It's not always, I don't think, a bad thing. As I was saying, moderation. Natural sugars inside the grain are caramelised, and you get this delicious nutty flavour. Let me just show you a flour. So by malted flours, I would mean something like this one that we have, or this one. That's a trademark with that, so you probably know the kind of flavour. And in the description, they usually say, if you look at the ingredients, they usually say something like barley malt flour or malted wheat flakes. And it is those that add in that delicious kind of nutty, caramelised nutty flavour. So you can see there, it will say something like malted wheat flakes, really delicious flavour. Obviously this is a trademark, the Hovis Granary, but that is probably if you were in the UK at least, I would say that's the flavour that you're aiming for. So that would be my favourite kind of flour to do. So I'm just going back to this dough I'm making. You can see here, I've not managed on kind of a couple of turns of the dough to get all of the liquid, all of the flour absorbed. And so you don't want a dry dough like that. Remember, I did put some of that milk powder in. So I'm going to add like 10 to 15 grams of water at a time. So you weigh that if you're doing it, and just make sure that all that dry flour is absorbed. A lot of the kind of wet stuff is also on the scraper, so I'm going to scrape that off as well. And so hi, if you're watching along, let me know if you've got any plans for Friday and the weekend, perhaps cooking something delicious, or if you've got any bread making questions, I'd love to hear them. And do let me know. You can see in the description as well, you can sign up for my newsletter for more bread making tips. And you also, as a thank you, get 3 quick and simple bread recipes to try at home. So you can get into baking bread at home. It really is delicious. But yeah, let me know if you have any bread making questions, or if you've been baking bread at home already. Do love to hear from you. So make sure that all of those dry bits of flour are incorporated into your dough, and your dough should be nice and stretchy and sticky. You can see here it is really sticky. Don't worry if it is stuck to your hands, that is totally fine. Now remember as well, I said I'm going to knead in a bit of butter as well, so maybe about kind of 20-30 grams of butter. I'll keep that wrapper to grease my tin later, and just chop this up into some cubes. And I know it looks like, oh, solid butter, solid dough, that will never absorb, but as you knead it and the heat of your hands and perhaps the warmth of the dough as well, it will just melt in and absorb into the flour. And again, we're talking about making an enriched dough. So yeah, if you're enjoying watching, or if you'd like more bread making tips as well as signing up to my newsletter, you can subscribe as well. So do hit subscribe, and you can find lots of different videos on my YouTube channel to find out more about bread making at home. There's some recipes on there. There's lots of tips and tricks that you can try at home as well. So if you're interested in getting baking bread at home, I'm not sure if it's too early to be mentioning things like Christmas. Some of you might be celebrating Thanksgiving, I think actually already in Canada, but also next month in the US. And I have plenty of festive baking classes coming up as well. So things like cinnamon buns, stollen bread, as well as more usual classes that I run like baguettes. And all of those you can find information on in the description as well. So do check those out if you're interested in joining me to learn to bake something delicious that you can share with friends or family in the festive season. And perhaps if, like me, it's going cooler and darker every day as it goes into autumn and winter, it always seems like perhaps a more activity to do, a more welcome activity to do, to be cozied up in the kitchen, baking something delicious. And bake along. So always a fun and friendly class, and you can chat like this and show me what you're baking and get your questions answered. So do check those out in the description if you are interested in what classes are coming up. All right, so you can just see that this butter is just disappearing into this dough. I'm just kneading in some butter. I'm just making a loaf of bread. My hair gets in my face, that's annoying. Making a loaf of bread for the weekend, for just to use over the weekend and the few days after that. And when you knead in butter, it will just melt in the heat of your hand and be kneaded in. All right, do say hi if you're joining, and if you're interested in, got any bread making questions, or perhaps you're thinking about baking something, let me know this weekend. If you're thinking of baking some bread, I'd love to know what you are baking. And just kneading the butter into this dough while we're chatting away. Unfortunately, if you were not here at the start, I've also just been roasting some tomatoes and also some plums, and unfortunately you cannot join in me with smelling how delicious that now smells, but they will be coming out the oven very soon. But just roasting those as well, using up the last of the garden produce from summer, or the last of the tomatoes, and doing that. Actually, they go really well in bread if you roast down your tomatoes into almost a puree, and you can knead them into your loaf as well, get a delicious tomato loaf, maybe with some cheese in it as well. That would be fantastic. All right, say hi if you are just joining. Lovely to have you here. I'm Rhiannon. Just kneading some dough. I've kneaded all that butter in now. As you can see, there's nothing there. No, well, hopefully I'll probably show you a lump of butter there, but no butter there. It is all kneaded in to the dough. It's still really sticky. It should be really sticky. Nothing wrong with that. You want stretchy, elastic dough, otherwise it's not going to rise. So, almost finished kneading this dough. It's always good to just chat along while I am making a loaf of bread. So needed that butter in to enrich the dough. Almost quite mindful, just kneading your dough quietly, and you can take 5 minutes out. Just maybe put some music on and your dough will be kneaded before you know it. Stretching, and as you can see, I stretch it. I can stretch it out a long way now. It's really soft and elastic, and almost ready to leave it to rise. I won't leave it there for you to watch rise. It'd be like watching paint dry. Not the most fun and exciting thing unless you really, really want to sit and watch dough rise. But yeah, you can go off now and do whatever else you need to do whilst it is rising. Right, let's do a little test to see how well it's kneaded. Hold it up. So it shouldn't take too long to knead your dough. Breaking a little bit to knead it a bit more. So it's still breaking when I stretch it thin, so not kneaded enough yet. And if you don't want to go for the mindful, calm kneading, then you can slightly get out the tension of the dough by slapping and folding it. That might feel a bit too aggressive for everyone, but it does knead your dough pretty quickly. And always doing this by hand. If I'm running a class as well, it's all by hand. Obviously, if you do have a stand mixer at home, you can use that as well. But in classes, we use as little equipment and few simple ingredients as well to make your bread. So you can join in. You don't need any kind of big mixer. You don't need anything particularly advanced. If you have scales, probably the most useful thing, so you can accurately weigh out your ingredients and make sure you're not making too dry or too wet a dough, and it ends up making very delicious bread. And let's see if we can do this test again. I want to check I've kneaded my dough enough. Simple test. That is stretching out much more nicely. It's a tiny bit broken at the bottom, but stretching out much more nicely. And I mean, if you need to, you can just pop the bowl back over the top, and you don't need to even touch your dough. It will still be kind of becoming stretchier and elastic whilst it is sitting there. So that is almost my dough made, and I'll be leaving that to rise and then shape it later. Sorry, I won't be bringing you along for the journey, but check out, I'll try and put a post up later on my channel of the finished loaf, and it will smell amazing, I'm sure. That delicious aroma of freshly baked bread wafting around the house, and a welcome start to the weekend. And as I mentioned, if you look in the description of the live, you can sign up for my newsletter, and as a thank you, you get 3 quick and simple recipes that you can try at home. So you can also, they can be done in minutes, so you could also be baking some delicious bread this weekend. Simple ones that are not too hands-on. Some of them are just kind of 2 or 3 ingredients as well. So really simple breads, but taste really delicious. It's amazing what you can make with a few simple ingredients. So yeah, do check out the description. And see if you want to sign up and get some more bread making tips, and you'll get information as well on things like my online classes, and come and join a live online class and learn to bake some delicious bread at home. It would be wonderful to have you along. All right, I think I am done with that. I feel like I should have been timing, but I think that was only about 5 to 10 minutes. Stretch it out. There. Beautiful. Beautiful, stretchy, not broken dough. It is all well needed. All right, so I'll be popping that away now to rise. Cover it over so it doesn't dry out. And that is all good to go. So that will be our bread for the weekend. Once it's risen, shaped, and now I'm going to clean off my hands. Well, fantastic. Well, it was lovely to chat with all of you and come back on and do some more live streams. I'm going to be trying to do some more of these as we go into the kind of autumn winter where I am anyway, and the festive season, and doing some more chats about baking at home. Perhaps you're getting into baking or bread baking. And so it'd be lovely to come along and chat with you. It has been this morning as well, and let me know if you've got your bread making questions, but do subscribe as well to the channel if you want to do any more bread making, and sign up for the newsletter to find out more about all the classes I ran as well if you're interested in baking bread at home. But I'm going to go off now and let this rise and let you get on with your days as well. So have a lovely rest of your Friday, and we'll speak again soon. Take care.